Hello and welcome back to the Workbench. This is where we discuss ceiling fan history, trivia, and technical information. This is a video I've wanted to bring you for quite some time, and I've been attempting to do more research for about 2 years now, and I keep hitting dead ends, and it's really the first time that this has happened. In particular, a very particular type of dead ends where I talk to people and then when they find out what I want to talk about, I stop hearing from them. That's not normal. Normally, when I reach out to somebody that has a history with a ceiling fan company, either they are very excited to talk about it, they can't believe somebody's interested, or they think it's some sort of scam, and then once they realize that I'm for real, then they're interested in talking about it. In this case, I've had all kinds of people that were interested until I went into the topic. So, for example, Design House is one of the topics we're going to cover today. And Design House was all excited that I wanted to research their history. Their 150-year anniversary was coming up, and they were going to have me to their headquarters, which is in Wisconsin. And then when I asked about Beverly Hills Fan Company, they stopped responding. I've reached out to a few people from the Greenberg family, and when I mentioned Beverly Hills, no response. So I'm just going to present you with all the information I have. If anybody's watching and can fill in some gaps, please do. And hopefully we'll learn more. But as with a lot of these videos, there'll be, in some cases, more questions than answers. This is definitely a very interesting topic. So for the most of the time that I've been collecting ceiling fans, I had assumed that Design House and Beverly Hills Fan Company and LA Fan Company and Modern Fan Company were all the same company, just either changing their name over the years or under different names or things like that. And that's in part because they sold the same fans, and in part because in 93, 94, I went to the same lumberyard that had the Terra installed, which was a Design House dealer, and asked if they had any catalogs. And they said, oh yeah, Design House, their showroom brand is called Beverly Hills. And they gave me a Beverly Hills catalog, which also had Design House contact information on the back of it. I think that catalog's in a slideshow that you can actually see. And it had a lot of the same models as Design House had in that catalog. So I always assumed they were the same company. And in fact, it's more complicated than that. And it's complicated to the point that we don't fully know the answer. So here's what we do know. We're going to first go back into time. We're going to start in 1870. Butter Hardware is founded by Gustav Butter in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a hardware store. In 1924, Butter Hardware becomes the Butter Company, which is a supplier of hardware products. So now instead of just a hardware store, they are supplying products to other hardware stores. We'll jump ahead to 1978. Rezek Lighting is founded, at the time unrelated. 1982 is the first use of Design House as a company name. Now, the Butter Company doesn't change their name to Design House yet, but they start using Design House in ads in 1982. In 1983, Beverly Hills Trading Company is incorporated in Beverly Hills, California by Shelley Greenberg, a former Casablanca sales rep, and his father, Hoyne Greenberg, who's the owner of Hoyne Industries, a mirror and tile manufacturer. That's significant because he's in the same kind of business that Design House is in. They're supplying building materials to hardware stores and home centers and lumber yards, etc. Can't find any connection between Hoyne Industries and Design House, but it seems likely that people from Design House and Hoyne met at trade shows or something to that effect. 1983, Beverly Hills fans show up in ads as just a standard generic GE vent import. Also, 1983 is the first year of Design House ceiling fans. They are all imported spinners except for the 6-blade Manhattan, which is kind of the Homestead long nose style bottom plate with a Hunter original style 2-piece canopy like a Supreme or something else to that effect. That's the first version of the Manhattan. We have actually seen those. It's 1983. 1984, Design House adds a GE vent close mount and a hugger, and DHI Corp is incorporated in Delaware. Now, that's significant because if you want to evade tax laws and you want to have very, very loose regulation for your company, you incorporate it in Delaware because Delaware has the loosest laws of any state for corporations. So you'll notice there are a lot of corporations that are not based in Delaware that incorporate in Delaware. And legally, I'm not a legal expert, and that should be clear for this whole video, but I believe to incorporate in a state, you just have to do business in that state, which is why in a lot of cases, you will find companies that incorporate in multiple states where they are doing business. So as long as DHI Corp or Design House or the Butter Company is doing business in Delaware, they can incorporate in Delaware. That's 1984. Also in 1984, Beverly Hills fans are now either a builder or a hugger that you can get in any color you want. So they're not doing just generic fans anymore. Now they're doing generic fans, but in custom colors, but in creative colors. As far as I know, they might be the first company to offer red and teal and pink and all of that, like that later became common for Menards as well as Casablanca and everything like that. I didn't actually look up to see if they were the first, but I know they are advertised as one of the first that you can get in colors other than brass, antique brass, white, etc. They might have been the first. Maybe I'll do a whole separate video on that, on colored ceiling fans. So just an aside there. That's 1984. Next up, 1986. Design House signature fans show up, by which I mean, other than the Manhattan, the fans that we think of when we think of Design House. So the close mount that they have that just looks like a builder fan stuck to the ceiling with no canopy, no down rod. I love those. My grandpa had one in his dining room. The trade winds, and they had a spinner that they were calling the Carousel. Carousel is one of those names that they reused, as well as trade winds and some of their other names. It's 1986. Also 1986, Beverly Hills is offering wood, stencil, cane, and brass fans, in addition to the colored fans, that appear identical to the Design House fans. So in 86, Beverly Hills and Design House are selling the same fans, except Beverly Hills is selling them in a choice of different colors, whereas Design House is only selling the traditional finishes. 1987, a Deco halogen spotlight kit is patented to Shelley Greenberg and assigned to Beverly Hills Trading Company. Also in 1987, the Design House Carousel is now a hugger instead of a spinner. In 1988, Beverly Hills contracted with Ron Rezek, who was a lighting designer, very famous lighting designer by that point. His first fan was the Stratos, which was the first of its kind, the mid-body blade with the hidden screws, and the first really truly modern design ceiling fan. It was very famous at the time, and that was patented by Ron Rezek, and the patent was assigned to Beverly Hills Trading Company. That's 1988. Also 1988, the Southwestern collection shows up in ads, which was another kind of a unique thing to Beverly Hills, at least at that point. Not all good news, though, because in 1988, Beverly Hills Fan Company cannot keep up with their orders or their debts. In 1989, the Butter Company officially renames as Design House. They moved their headquarters to Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, which is where Metal Pete lives. New Design House models are introduced. The Builder Vent Carousel, which is the Metal Pete fan. So it's interesting, I guess I'll have to tell Metal Pete that his favorite Design House was introduced the same year that they moved to Menominee Falls. He'll love that. The wood housing, they had a very distinctive wood housing fan that you guys have seen in videos and whatnot before. But all of the new Design House models that weren't introduced previously were introduced in 89. Also in 89, Beverly Hills Fan Company is incorporated in Delaware. Remember, Beverly Hills Trading Company is what they were doing business as before. Even though they were going by Beverly Hills Fan Company, they were incorporated as Beverly Hills Trading Company in California. Now they are incorporated as Beverly Hills Fan Company in Delaware, much like Design House is incorporated as DHI Trading in Delaware. 1989 still. The Stratos appears in ads, usually next to a Homestead Wind. Those were the two big modern models at the time. They were the two like, oh my God, this is a new thing in ceiling fans. This is the new trend. All the designers are going crazy. HGTV loves it, and whatnot. Those were the two popular, new, modern, this is different than any fan we've had before designs. Ron Rezek is giving seminars on designs, and he's featuring the Stratos in them. 1990, Ron patents the LeCirque, and the patent is again assigned to Beverly Hills Trading Company. Also in 1990, Design House trademarks LA Fan Company and Stratos. Why is Design House trademarking the Stratos? This is a good question that I don't have an answer to yet. Design House is incorporated in Delaware as Design House. This is also the last year of the traditional Manhattan, 1990. Design House also moves their headquarters again to Germantown, Wisconsin, which is right next to Menominee Falls. Okay, 1991. The REL is patented by Ron Rezek, again assigned to Beverly Hills Trading Company. Beverly Hills is now showing up in Home Depot ads and the Sears catalog. Beverly Hills Fan Company incorporates in California, and they go public for the first time. Their stock does very well. It's a huge splash on the stock market. It's a big deal. That's 91. Also in 91, Design House trademarks the Manhattan, the Carousel, the Close-Up, the Aurora, and the LeCirque. The Manhattan is, at this time, when it's trademarked, a spinner motor 6-blade fan, which don't think I've seen the spinner motor 6-blade version. I've seen the spinner motor 5-blade version and the K55 type 6-blade version, but I don't think I've seen the spinner motor 6-blade Manhattan. Also in 1991, LA Fan Company fans start showing up in ads. They are the same as Beverly Hills and Design House fans. So now you have the same fans being sold as Beverly Hills, Design House, with some overlap, not much overlap. Mostly Beverly Hills is the showroomy fancy stuff, Design House is the buildery stuff, but there's some overlap. LA Fan Company is selling both of them. LA Fan Company is trademarked by Design House, so we know LA Fan Company and Design House are the same company. What exactly is the relationship with Beverly Hills? We still don't know. 1992, Beverly Hills Trading Company patents are now assigned to Beverly Hills Fan Company. Remember, two different companies technically. Ron patents a wood housing fan, which is assigned to Beverly Hills Fan Company. Beverly Hills starts marketing fans in Spain. Also, and this is a year after they went public, Beverly Hills Fan Company stock mysteriously tanks. It was a huge deal. It was doing extremely well when they started. And a year later, I think the first and second quarter, this isn't in my notes, the first and second quarter were doing okay, but the third and fourth quarter tanked so out of nowhere and so rapidly that they were accused of misleading investors. Analysts accused them of misleading investors. Beverly Hills responds by introducing a line of lighting that is supposed to save the company. In 1992, the 5-blade Manhattan is introduced. It has a rubber flywheel. It looks like a Sonica. I've never seen one up close, but I have assumed that they are a rubber flywheel on a spinner motor like the Sonica. 1993, the Le Dome is patented by Ron Rezek, and the patent is again assigned to Beverly Hills Fan Company. This is also the last year that Beverly Hills fans are in the Sears catalog. 1994, Beverly Hills and Design House fans are sold side by side in the same stores, in the same advertisements, in the same catalogs. Beverly Hills Fan Company stock is still doing poorly and investors are upset. 1996 is the last year that LA Fan Company is in ads, so that is basically abandoned after 96. Also in 1996, the Beverly Hills Fan Company is in foreclosure. A Design House buys the Beverly Hills Fan Company. So finally, they're tied together, but it's Design House buying them out. 1997, Design House trademarks the Arts and Crafts Collection, the Trout, the Arcade, the Satellite, the Mecca, the Salerno, and the Fanfare. A lot of those you will recognize as Beverly Hills models. That said, the fans that Design House is selling that year all look like generic kind of Enconi type products. Also in 1997, Ron Rezek founds his own fan company, Modern Fan Company. Modern Fan Company is in no way connected with the others, other than that Ron Rezek got tired of his designs being used by companies he did not own, went ahead, founded his own company, started with new designs, but that's also why designs like the Stratos were phased out, because he didn't technically own them. They were owned by Beverly Hills, which was then bought by Design House, and then they were owned by Design House. So that is the connection with Modern Fan Company. It's not the same company, it's just that the same designer went on to found his own company. 1998, Beverly Hills Fan Company is forfeited to the state of California. 2000, Design House is sold to a private equity firm and renamed DHI Corporation. In 2001, all of the Beverly Hills Fan Company patents are assigned to DHI Corporation. So they still hold those patents. They still own those patents. They're now assigned to DHI Corporation. And 2007 is the last year that the Stratos is mentioned in advertising. So I told you we were going to come away with that with more questions and answers. It's obvious that there was a connection between Design House and Beverly Hills all the way back to the 80s, all the way back up until the point where Design House buys Beverly Hills. What exactly is that connection? I don't know. And by the fact that nobody wants to talk about it, it sounds like somebody was either done really wrong or there was some underhanded dealing or something like that. I don't know. I can only speculate, but it is definitely curious. There was obviously some funny business with the stock and things like that. So the question really on my mind is, was Design House trying to help Beverly Hills? Did Hoyne call somebody that he knew at Design House and say, hey, me and my son have this company and it's struggling. Can you guys, help us distribute our products or invest some money or do something to help us out? Was it helping, or was Design House taking advantage of Beverly Hills and tanking them so they could buy them out? I don't know. I'm not an expert. No one has really been willing to talk to me about it. The research has dead-ended. So I would love to learn more. If there's anybody out there that's watching, you can, of course, comment. You can, of course, email me. We can, I would love to learn more about this. But what we do know is fascinating, that they had this, the string of connections and these parallel fan companies that had many things going similar at the same time. And then when one tanks, the other one abandons the line of fans and buys them out. Like, it would make a lot more sense to me if Design House bought them out and then started selling all of their designs. Yeah, because that's what Casablanca did with Homestead, and then eventually they phased out some of the Homestead designs. Some of them they kept because they were trying to get rid of a competitor and bring them into their fold. But this is the opposite. After they bought them out, they stopped selling their designs. So it seemed like there was no real advantage unless, like I said, either they had been looking out for their friend or taking advantage of them all along. I don't know. If somebody is willing to talk to me on the record, I will, of course, update this video, post another video. Like I said, I would love to learn more. This has been fascinating. But in the meantime, I think this is enough to close out this video. And, we've learned what we've learned. We've definitely learned some history, some interesting history about both, or technically all three companies. You could even say more than that, because there was a whole lot of different companies that were incorporated in different states. And I'm happy to get these notes out of my draft folder and into a Workbench video. So again, if you know more than I do, if you have some information, if you're good at researching the history of corporations, if you have some inside information, either put it in the comments or email me or message me or anything. If you've got questions, you just want to theorize about it, go ahead in the comments. Again, this is just, theorizing based on what's out there. Obviously, we don't want to make any factual statements that can't be backed up. Design House is still a company, and we don't want to say anything that would be reflect negatively upon them. So don't post anything as fact unless you can verify it. But theories are welcome. Discussion is welcome. I'm hoping to learn more after posting this. In the meantime, of course, like, comment, and subscribe. Patreon.com/dspiffy. Continue to support our sponsors. Fanstick, Lightstick, all of the above. I think that's just about everything. So I'm going to sign off this video. This will probably be a standalone Workbench video. I don't have any other ones planning to go up anytime soon. But when some other things settle down and I have time to go back into researching, then I hope to do a whole lot more, because I love these. These might be my favorite thing on this channel. They just take a lot of time into researching, a lot of time into note-taking and preparing my notes. Filming doesn't take that long. I can sit here and film it usually in one take, sometimes in a couple of takes. But the research is very, very time-consuming, so I don't get to do these nearly as often as I'd like. But hopefully I'll be doing more in the future. So please... Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. If you have some ideas for Workbench topics, shout them out in the comments, because I'd love to do some more. And the ones that I have that I want to do are still kind of in the works. There's still kind of a ways to go. So shout out some topics. Just because you shout it out doesn't mean it'll work, doesn't mean it'll be a good idea for a topic, but it definitely can't hurt. You know, and I'll definitely respond and let you know, oh yeah, that seems like a good idea. Let me research it and see, or no, I don't think we can do that. So please shout out some topic ideas in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and bye, Fenstick.